Start playing.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove.
A special request.
That's it. Yo, and welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. This is
Wow.
fuck that one right up.
Right.
That's
Dude.
the first.
Welcome to
never fucked
another
it up.
edition of the Adam Dunn Show.
Mark
we
the
can't
time.
Hear, we couldn't
You've
hear the
never
music.
done that
We have no
before.
intro.
I don't
He messed
care.
up. It's his fault.
I'm feeling fucking.
I have to have
Wow.
I have to have my last word, and I
Ended,
know
Vinny.
my first word.
I know. I couldn't hear it.
It's like a Led
but
Zeppelin. It's like a Led Zeppelin.
That's
album.
weird.
We started the thing and we didn't have any audio, so I had to like change the audio thing, and it's all stupid. So that's what's
it.
happening.
That's it. We quit.
Y'all are doing great.
All right, so the show's over, right? We're done.
Show's over.
Canceled. I'd say
Corona.
we fucked the intro up.
Solar mass hit.
Never happened.
Solar mass ejection.
You're supposed to just keep moving like it never happened, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows who
Play
we
it
are.
off. Play it off.
Eruption.
Yep.
Now we need to play Eruption. Which we're used to that now.
Cue eruption.
Anyway, welcome
so happy
to
to see you
the
guys.
Start again.
show.
Let's, actually,
Oh.
we'll edit it out.
Ready?
So
Oh, yeah, edit it
pretend
out.
to start
Ready?
again. Ready?
Ready?
And action.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
And I'm Katie.
And we're live in the studio. See, that sounded way more professional.
So
Really stupid
professional.
sounding,
Like we've
but yeah,
done it-
like we
like we've
actually
done
have
this
done it.
Mark, you're not a supportive producer.
We have.
You guys are doing so good.
This is a soapbox show. Everybody get on your
The
soapbox
chat
now.
is like
Soapbox
loving
show?
it.
Yeah,
I
they're
need
like, you
Jake-
guys rock.
They are totally not slurring you guys at all.
This is
Of
like
course they are.
No,
This is
of
like
course
a-
they're not.
They hate us.
it's like a
They-
Festivus.
It's like Festivus Maximus.
The
Well,
rest of us.
everybody is invited on the show to get on their soapbox today and complain about anything they want to complain about,
Yeah, it's a
whether it's the
Festivus.
You want me to-
government overreach
You want me to put
or
the
the yeah, put it,
Twinkie
yes,
and the
you have to.
Winkie?
And we have, I know Lou is going to jump in at some point. Lou Pino is out there listening right now. He can't wait. He had some great points. I was like, you know what?
Traders.
I'm either going to steal all your points and make me sound smart, or I'm going to let you come on and do it. So he said he'll come on and do it.
I'm excited to
Yeah.
see Luke.
And then we might have Flora Farm on here also. He is going out to a swim meet or something. He said when it's we'll see. He's doing athletic shit. He's obviously not a real Adam Dunn Show listener if he's out there being athletic.
He's on a team.
That is not what we do, right, Mark?
What do you mean?
Oh, Mark-
Vinny's an athlete.
No, Mark puts face paint on. He's like one of those guys. He's the face paint guy.
Mark
Vinny's
is
an
the
athlete,
face
though.
guy.
Half one team, half the other. So he decides whoever wins, he just wipes off the other one. He's one of those guys.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're
No.
the worst kind.
I was
Well, no. Here it is. Okay, ready? 20% of the staff is an athlete in Vinny. 20% is an athletic supporter.
Did you know that
in
Vinny?
Mark.
Did you know that Vinny's still on the actual his record still holds? I don't know if you know that yet. If you've ever heard, if you ever listened to the show, you may be aware that he is the track and field star of his hometown.
Pretty much.
I know
Don't
it's just-
say where
I know
it
it's-
is.
I know the fam already knows. They've heard this story.
Yeah, right.
This is the oldest story at the dinner table, right? Or
It's a
not?
good one, though. What's he doing? Still
That's
doing
spectacular.
Still there.
good.
Still
doing
there.
Good. Still there.
Do they have your?
But they don't know your secrets. That's the problem. They don't know that you were getting high behind the bushes, pretending you were
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
they
long
did.
thing, and then you came around the very end and did the
No.
old run in the.
No, they did. They did. No.
They
So
were
and
well
then
aware.
we've got Brett from Heart and Soil coming
Oh,
in.
I'm
What time's he coming in? Did you have a time frame?
Late.
I thought he was coming
Oh,
in.
you're the one
later.
who's organized.
Yeah.
You're the organizer. Late.
Late.
Like
He said-
last minute, he's gonna roll in.
No, like 6 o'clock.
What? That is the last
Yeah.
minute. He doesn't know our shows are short now because,
He'll be on Patreon then.
well, it's not really short. We say they're short, and then they end up being the same length as always.
Daylight savings.
Oh yeah, show savings, Dave.
Show savings.
Vinny gets a producer credit tonight. Put a note, Mark.
And we're actually got Katie in the house today.
I'm so
'cause-
excited
Oh,
about
it
that.
was a rough show. We didn't have.
No, you guys did great. I listened.
You could
It
tell
was a
we were
phenomenal
really
show.
noticing every second. Like, where's your shot? What do we do?
No, I like the flow of it.
I
It
just
was
want to point
wonderful.
out that that's really tasty.
Oh, good.
since I'm only going to get one round on it when Katie can't.
No, I
send
will
Oh,
it
that's
to
pass
the
it
true.
back.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah.
Well, where
And
is our
passing-
ashtray going to? What's going on here?
I failed to bring an ashtray.
What?
Yeah.
Complete failure right
I
there.
have
Oh,
one.
it's weird. I have an ashtray.
You have.
Thanks, Mark. It's right there.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Katie's
Oh,
got it.
good.
We have an ashtray.
No, I still have one.
Oh my
I'm doing good.
This is.
What are you?
Are you,
moving
Mark?
up, we're moving up around here. We have multiple ashtrays on this show. This is
I rolled up.
I feel
some
like we've achieved something.
Burgundy 99 from Kaya Cannabis. Thank you
Yeah, thank
for
you,
sponsoring the
So
episode.
we had already had planned on having Brett earlier, but then of course, as always in the canna world, everybody gets shook up, and everybody's talking about it.
I'm all shook up.
So it was like I was like, oh, there's our show right there. We just have to get people bitching and moaning. And the funny thing is that part of me is like kind of like, yeah, good, and the other part of me is like, oh no, because obviously we never want to be under the fucking crosshairs of the government in any way, shape, or form, because we know how stupid they are and how fucked up they will get with their rulings.
We'll talk about that. You said on one hand you want to be good.
Yeah, good,
So
because I'm
what
done
good?
with, well, because it's gas station weed. I'm sick of gas station weed. That
Okay.
shit's got to go.
Yeah,
That's like
I am 100%
nothing good about it.
Delta 8,
Ugh.
Delta 10, THCP. Oh, Vinny's. What's that? His.
Oh,
Oh, bad.
Fucking bad. You know, I agree 100%.
No, I need new. No, I need new.
Tip.
Tips.
Okay, the Zoom
yeah.
link is in the chat.
Oh, look at that. Anybody who wants to come in here.
Join us. I'm curious
Get
to
on
hear
that
everybody's opinion
soapbox.
on this.
So basically, they slipped in just somehow. It was weird too, right? Because it was like, oh, look, they're going to turn the government back on. Oh, but wait a minute, we got this one little thing we're just going to throw in there.
Yeah,
it was
they
like,
put it.
how did this pop?
we
up
got
out
someone.
out of nowhere. We got someone live. There he is, Mr. Pino.
Mr. Trader.
There he is.
Hey.
Trader
What's up,
Joe.
everybody?
Trader Joe. What's going on?
If you can.
You know, just not changing my logos.
Yeah, that's right. So, welcome to the show. I saw you bitching. First guy I saw bitching was you. So I was like, there he is. We got some bitching going on out there.
We
you were on
appreciate you.
were on the side that I was just talking about, which is part of me is like, good. Who gives a fuck? This shit was horrible because all that crappy weed out there that's not regulated, but at the same time, I don't care about the regulation part. I just care about the fact that I know when people do that, they take the piss. They're like, oh, we don't have.
But they're hunting a mosquito with a shotgun here.
I know. I need them.
Okay, they could have refined the way the law read, the way the Farm Bill read, and simply written something targeting synthesized cannabinoids. Right? That's all they needed to do. They didn't need to do away with the entire Farm Bill's regulations and boundaries it set up to allow for hemp-derived cannabinoids. It was, and we've complained about them for fucking years. Like, we can bring Scaldone on right now. He won't miss an opportunity to talk about a synthetic cannabinoid in such a light that you see it being toxic.
I mean, we've never been like, ooh, I want to try those. It's like, this is zero desire.
I took it by mistake. I didn't know what it was. Somebody handed it to me.
You did?
No, I'm saying that's what you normally hear.
You did
And-
exactly that. Really?
No. Oh, I'm the fuck. Out of all the three of us, I'm going to be the one not to read the label? Give me a break.
I don't know how I should take that.
No,
Out of the three of us,
Come on.
Okay, I
you
appreciate that.
you
But
two
then-
remind me of Tommy Chong when he was in the insane asylum, where Tim Leary gives him and he goes, "What was it?" He goes, "No, wait, don't tell me. I wanted to be a surprise." That's you guys. Me, I have to know.
Well,
Okay.
then I noticed that Lou actually came of the opposite end of the spectrum, and he started to give us the reality check on dispensary weed, because, of course, people are crying on
I
one
saw
side
that.
about the fact that all this unregulated weed that's in these shops is full of poison and full of that. But then the reality is, go ahead, Lou.
And the reality ends up being is that we know what states allow. Like, for example, I'm in the state of Connecticut. One of the lowest standards for mold definitely allows remediation, which ends up being gamma ray radiation on the bud to kill any pests and mold and mildew in order to pass testing. People are constantly bitching and complaining about testing. We got to keep the kids safe and testing. I was like, yeah, testing is not what you think it is. You know, it's just like when they end up putting any kind of food or water, acceptable levels of lead, acceptable levels of poison. Like
Rat-
there's
rat
always like a
feces.
threshold. Yeah, and it's like, oh, everybody's like, we got to keep everybody safe. We don't know what's happening in the. I was like, yeah, but we know what's happening in the regular market. We know exactly what's, and we fight against that.
Well, the
So
funny
I'm
part
trying
is that anybody who works in the industry doesn't get weed from their own shop. You know what I mean? Like 95% of them are like, yeah, dude, I just got my own weed. Even though they're in it
My
all
own
day
shit,
because
yep.
they know exactly what you said is that all the weed, they can't leave that building until it goes through that fucking stupid machine and or gets sent
Right.
out to go to somebody else's stupid machine. And pretty much like,
and they see it as a perk. They see it as like, that's a plus.
well, no, it's become part of the SOP. It's like
Yeah.
that's literally like they
Yeah, it's
can't do it
crazy.
because it's too risky to lose out on a crop. How about just grow good weed and keep it clean and not have to fucking
Right,
fuck around
right.
and worry about the
Fuck-
fact that you're
Oh,
not sure.
you're in trouble. They're
hold
gonna come
hold
put a hit on you.
profits
Much
over
less
the
growth.
quality of it too.
You know,
And I mean, like
Oh.
this ends up being, in my opinion, like, and it is what it is. There's three. The government is getting their cut, and I did some numbers. The amount of cannabis hemp that ended up being grown from 23 to 24 jumped up 64%. The amount of money that the government got from the hemp industry jumped up 40%. So the government is getting their cut, but somebody else isn't getting paid. And that's where the first one ends up being the Department of Justice, right? Because 39 attorney generals signed, just ban intoxicating hemp, because that means jobs. One arrest ends up being anywhere from like 10 to like 15 jobs that it affects. The police officer, the clerk, the judge, the court marshal, the correctional officer, like all these individuals that end up getting hourly and salaries because of that one arrest. And because legalization and THCA hemp, there's been less arrests, so that means that they're getting less money for their budget. So that's a motive for them. The other one ends up being the cannabis industry, but their beef should end up being with the government and over-regulation and over-taxation versus saying, hey, THCA is, taking all the sales. That's why we don't have sales. When in reality, what the legal side should be saying, the THCA hemp industry is what the cannabis industry should be. Low bars to get in, $500 to get your hemp license, the overhead, the amount of people, the commercial property. It is so much better than what the cannabis industry is currently doing. Like what's to get to a license in Florida is like $20 million. You can get a
That's
hemp
wild.
license, I'm saying, for $500. Like, come on. So it's more of envy from the cannabis industry to the THCA hemp. And then the last one, and this is where it all happened, in my opinion, like really ended up being landing in Kentucky, because Mitch McConnell is the senator that put the hemp in the 2018 Farm Bill. And now he's so out of it, I think they took advantage of him to make him go against it, because he doesn't know where the fuck he is.
I
And
think
half the time anyway.
they probably went to him and said, "Hey, look, dude, if you're going to be out soon, and the last thing you want to do is be known as the guy who created this giant loophole." You know what I mean? So close the loophole right before you go, and you'll be a hero or some bullshit. And then
Right.
And
So
so-
that was the alcohol. Yeah. the
and
alcohol.
of
that's
course-
it.
yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
it's Kentucky. It's alcohol.
Of
so
course.
the alcohol is split into two sides: the distributors and the distillers. The distributors also sell infused THC drinks, so they're making money off of THCA.
Yeah.
But the distillers are mad because
They're
that
losing
lowers
money.
their sales.
Yeah, they're losing
They're-
money.
So
So-
this ruling, first off, Mitch McConnell doesn't know what's going on. He accepted a campaign contribution from the alcohol lobby. You got to think about how our government works.
Doesn't even know where he is at.
Politicians don't come up with ideas. Okay, none of them do. They're lobbied by someone paid enormous amounts of money to get their point across and to convince the politician to stand up for what the lobbyist wants through campaign contributions. So they're bought and paid for. This just happened to be the hemp industry didn't pay them enough. The alcohol industry did. You're too logical. None of that matters. This is 2 days ago, they just released a report showing that for every THC beverage purchased, an alcoholic beverage is not purchased. The industry really getting kicked in the nuts is alcohol, okay? And they just saw an opportunity to get one past the goalie, and they spent pennies pennies. Look, but we've been yelling all the time. We didn't clean it up. We as an industry didn't complain to our own brethren and say, stop selling synthesized cannabinoids. Everyone was so happy that they had a marketplace, and everyone said, yes, give me a $500 license. And somebody came to them and said, look, give me some of your CBD. I'm going to run it through my whatever Scaldone would be able to tell us. Dr. Mark Scaldone, if you're listening. And the process is horrible. The result is terrible. It's not naturally occurring.
Well, the thing is, when you're in the when you saw people processing hemp with their like thin film drop deals, you'd see all this like bullshit seconds that would come out of everything, right? And then of course, as a chemist, people's brains are just like, dude, I could take that and just pull that, convert that over to that, and you got that. And like people just look at it as money, because of course, it's like, if you're looking at a bunch of goo in the corner of your thing and you're like, that shit's costing me $10,000. Oh, but we could turn it into $20,000. Well, fuck, they're gonna do it every time. You know what I mean? So you saw, and they figured out how to back into everything to the point where it was like, we can. As long as they're going in the right direction, we can keep converting this further down.
It's a cannabis arbitrage.
Yeah,
exactly.
And to be clear, I am not for Delta 8, Delta 10, or THCO. THCA all day because it's natural. We're and the people calling in loopholes and technicalities and bans. That's all wrong. First off, they're just adding more regulation. It's not a ban, and we need to start saying how corporations say it, right? We're only doing what the law allows us to do. We're not breaking any law. This is not against the law. And we will continue to, look at the details of it and be able to operate our businesses as regular professionals, not criminals or anything crazy like that. But that's what needs to be said. That's how we need to handle it a little bit more. It's just.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we do have a year also, and everybody can calm down. It's like people are like, "That's happening, it's going down." It's like there will be people who, jump the gun and fucking just listen to the
I
rules
think
before
you're
they've already been
absolutely right. There is going to be.
There's a lot of scared people right now.
Oh,
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But these are the people that are scared because they started after legalization.
Yeah, they've never
not
had
before.
this. I know anybody who was in there before is like, dude, this is like fucking operate as normal, obviously. And it's like you can really see it too. It's like you see the ones who are freaking. It's like, oh, you've never actually been in an illegal market. You've always been legal. You've been waiting until the day it became legal, and then you all of a sudden opened up your first hemp company or CBD company or THCA or whatever. And now it's like
the American way, though, man.
And now you're getting like a little taste of what life was like before everything, which There you go.
But
the problem is that
they're just gonna quit. They're just gonna quit.
But
dude.
the problem
They're
is
just
that
gonna quit.
they're in a different paranoid setting, because if however much business they've made in the last few years, their name is out there. And now it's like when they say there's 4,000 people now just combing through with AI looking for fucking. It was like how quickly they can figure everything out is ridiculous, because everybody's been running above board, obviously, and so there's records of everything, every delivery, everything's like, okay, so we're just gonna close these guys down, and so they'll all close down before they won't even get to that point. They'll be shuttered, before they.
Everybody's got to move. You know how expensive. All the grows got to stop, because clearly all the addresses on there. They're gonna end up having to move locations. It's going to be, like we always have to do. We don't have a permanent. We don't ever have a permanent grow home.
Yeah.
It's always temporary, and we could end up having to shut this motherfucker down overnight.
Well, the thing is, after you've installed enough rooms like that back in the day, you'd be like, I'm not going to hang that on the fucking ceiling. There's no fucking point, because you never know. It's never that filter is going in the corner. It's going to be ready to fucking pick it up and throw it in there. Not like, oh my God, because you know how it is when you go overbuild everything and make it all like it's going to be there forever. Is the day you get that letter, oh, we're coming to inspect all your heaters or some bullshit. And you're like, God damn it, we just fucking put them into flower yesterday.
They didn't get Capone for killing anybody.
Yep, got to go get the U-Haul. Got to go put the plants for a little bit out somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully it's the right weather out. It's not like I had it in the wintertime in Amsterdam, and I thought it was going to be a 24-hour thing. It turned into a 3-day thing, and I just kept. It was in the middle of the winter, and I had this box truck parked out next to my house, and I put little propane heaters in there, and the plants loved it, dude. They were thriving, right? They were like, "Ooh, this is fucking awesome," but the whole thing was like sweating, right? And just like every other car covered in snow, my car was dripping, right? It's like water dripping off of it. And I'd be like, okay. And I go
I'm sure
in there.
nobody noticed.
I went in there every day and changed the fucking thing. And I'm like, this is so
He's
ridiculously
the only one in the
obvious.
neighborhood hanging out outside in the.
No, but it was funny. Every time I opened up the door, I was scared it was going to be terrible. And it was like, God damn, these things look great. I should be putting them in box trucks and running CO2 like this every fucking day. This is
Box truck, bud.
They don't need any light, you know what I mean? It was like they had that, like, it was one of those trucks that had the enough light you could see. That was about it because it had a clear roof.
So let me ask a question to everyone listening right now. What can we do in the next year, and would it behoove the entire industry if we, right, the people who really want to be in this industry for at least reasons that we'll say are not just capital, what if we all got together and said, no, fuck you, Delta 8, no way, Delta 10, anyone who synthesizes a cannabinoid is not in our sphere. Well, but get it out there because somebody is buying this stuff. Somebody is
A lot of
going to the
people
gas
buying-
station.
I think it's like comes back to the people in community like you and.
Yeah, like my cousin in Texas, like
love it?
they love.
They-
I mean,
yeah, people-
They have dispensaries. Like he just goes and they pick
Oh,
out a jar
yeah.
and all that stuff, dude. And like
Texas,
They're
North
not, e-
Carolina,
they don't have the
Florida.
education
That's
around
in-
it.
I mean, but I bet a bunch of that is just the THCA,
right,
It's
it's
weed,
that's
right?
Yeah,
it's marketed
it's still
as
weed.
THCA
I don't think
weed.
they're getting because I mean Delta is all.
But
vapes
it's
and
not
shit. All that shit's
tested.
just
Well,
vapes,
yeah.
so-
So I mean, but
or
they sell
sprayed back onto
they
weed,
sell
which
them in
is
the
even
same
worse.
places though. They sell them.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Delta
so,
8
yeah.
is usually outdoor CBD that they just end up spraying
Right.
and sell it at the gas station.
Exactly.
THCA is usually grown either indoors or in a environment controlled greenhouse, which is just regular fucking weed. And it's just it all depends. Like the
Well, the funny
the
thing
shit-
is when you're growing and putting in testing, you'll get really weird results sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have it where
mhm.
it's like it's all THCA, and I've had times where I'll be like, how the fuck is it 29% THCA and like 0.9% THC? I was all mad, like, and then later I was like, fuck, that would have been good weed to have because that was the one you should have kept. Fuck, and now I was all obviously thinking I'm doing something wrong, but the reality is it's also like I think some plants are just converted it naturally or whatever.
Yeah.
They just have a better and that's probably why we noticed certain weed kicks our ass back in the day because it wasn't based on like especially because those ones you see them and your brain just immediately says, well, if it's THCA, it's going to be crap, and then you get really high and you're like, holy shit, that shit actually works. And it was like my friend in North Carolina, he was selling to the sheriff. The sheriff would come in and buy Delta for his wife, right? The sheriff would get it for his wife. He came back and he's like, that THCA, my wife said it really works. And he's like, yeah, of course, because they were trying all the other bullshit and it wasn't working. And then all of a sudden, when she tried that, it was like this actually. And then he came in and he was like,
it's weed.
He's like, I need to get a pound of that. So he's like, I just sold a pound to the sheriff.
Sure.
And it's like, as he's giving it to him, he's like, this is crazy. Like, it's like all I have to do is to tell you to maybe go look into this a little further. But no,
Maybe not.
maybe not.
Maybe
Just leave
Nah.
it. Leave it at
what the legal side should be.
Well, it's,
Exactly.
it's another one of those
Yeah.
cases of also like someone told him it's legal. He's the sheriff. It's legal. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
gonna just enforce.
it's legal. It's in his brain. Oh, that's it. This stuff's legal. You tell them it's
Yep.
illegal. Oh, we're gonna go bust every single person for they're just kind of doing what they're told in all ways. And but the good part is that because of situations like that, people have seen it work especially when it's like for their wife or their mom or their whatever. Like
people that will
and
only
when
try it in that
and
way.
so now that this
You have
is
to trick them.
well,
Yeah.
the thing is, now that this is happening, it's putting all this I get kind of pissed off when I hear oh, you're cutting off people from their medicine. I'm like, this is not the medicine. Like they're cutting off people from poison. Actually, is what for the most part. But it's also bringing attention to the reality of the legal side too, which is like getting his ass kicked. And it's almost impossible to make money in the cannabis industry right now. There's nobody giving any money. It's like we're stagnated in a lot of ways, so it's
Oh, that's
by-
another show
by
regarding
by
price.
people. Well, by this is good. So some of this is good where it might force people back into the not necessarily even in the dispensary lane, but also into the traditional market lane, which is that's going to blow. The traditional market is about to blow the fuck up again because people now are realizing like. First of all, it's always been the best. You know what I mean? It's like as you re-tap it back into that, you're like, why was I even wasting my time going to the? Because people go for convenience and they think.
See, Katie doesn't like to ever admit that she won't smoke dispensary weed.
I don't.
And I mean, I'm not gonna fault her for that. Is there a way to look on the packaging of dispensary cannabis in Colorado to tell if it's been irradiated?
No, but it should have to be. I think.
No.
Personally.
Each state ends up actually, like Connecticut, we actually have it on the label. Each state has to say that they have that, not to restrict it, but they have to put it on. They should put it on the label of the product, but each state has to make the effort to put it as part of the regulation.
If you were growing and not radiating your weed, then it would be the smartest to put your own label onto this as non-radiated, because you would get those people who would actually drive an extra 15 minutes just to get weed that's not radiated. Because that's what I was saying earlier, is the reason why most of the people in the industry don't smoke their own weed is because they know it's been fucking run through the rad source. You know what I mean? Which is like... It's interesting too, because if you don't realize it, all imported vegetables are also irradiated, but they just have a bigger machine. It's just a big giant room, and they pull in a bunch of carts and hit that fucking thing and boop, zap it. You know what I mean? So all your bananas and all your fucking imported vegetables.
If you don't know food irradiation, look up. I think the isotope is called cesium-90.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's a byproduct of like the nuclear industry already. And somebody said, what can we do with this stuff? And someone said, oh, we could make our food safe. And that's somebody look it up. Shitty Jamie. I think
the first time I heard of it was in Holland, and it was probably around 99 or something like that, maybe. And when they opened up their medical program there, and it's like all, and I signed up just because it was like available, you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, might as well do it. Went in, got it. Got the first bit of weed, and I was like, nah, it's not that good anyway. But
it's great.
Then I found out it was radiated, and I was like, holy fuck, well, no, I'm never going to get that weed again. So I just kept the package, and I would just put my weed in the same package and just carry it around with me. So it was like my little extra safety. It's for like festivals. Like I was at a festival one time with my friend, and the cop, I'm sitting in my car rolling a joint, and a motorcycle cop comes up, and I don't see him right away, and I'm just sitting there. I kind of turn around. It's like, and he's like looking at me like I'm insane, you know what I mean? And then I go, medical, right? And he goes, his brain just melted. He's like, what? And he looks at it and he's like, holy shit, okay, well, I guess you're good. And I was like, Dad, thank fucking God, dude. That was like the perfect thing, because I was like sitting in my car in the driver's seat with my leg hanging out the car, rolling a joint, about to run into this festival. So it would have been the perfect, like, oh, so you're in the, you know how that shit goes down.
Exactly.
And let me look in your bag. Oh no, not the bag. Don't look at the bag. Please don't look in the bag.
Nothing to see here, Ossifer. Nothing.
And I was going
see
into
here.
the festival, so I was fucking loaded down. It would have been bad.
Yeah, just the whole stance.
But it was funny because then my friend Al was he was like that was fucking awesome.
Dunn.
He's like, that was awesome, dude. It was just like, it was so perfect, because I was like, it was the only time I ever got to use it too. I was like, medical.
He was waiting to use that. Do you hear? Yeah, that's spectacular.
I don't think that would work today. I think you get fucked with. I don't care if you flash medical.
Well, now they've heard it all. This literally blew the cop's mind, because he was like, he never even knew that they had a program there. He was like, what? Because I was like one of the first people signed up. Me, Soma did it. Oh, too. Oh, but none of us smoked the weed. The weed was terrible. Oh, so bad. We don't know.
We don't know.
Uncut.
Let's
What's
see.
going
No,
on?
they can't hear us. They said.
Uh-oh, they can't.
It sounds like it's back. It looks like it's back.
Are we
Let's see.
back?
Tell
us.
Yeah. Yep.
Yay,
You
we're
are not
back.
going to believe what we just
Thank
talked
you, guys.
about.
Man, we
Holy
are-
shit,
No,
Katie.
it was weird
It was
because
fucking profound.
the screen
Oh
started
my
flickering
gosh.
over here. I don't know what.
Flickering screen.
And then you guys.
I mean, for Katie to
Poltergeist?
divulge
Is that what we're saying?
information,
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Okay.
that was.
Well, we're back.
You know what it is?
I'll
I-
keep
Thank you,
watching it.
guys.
I'm blaming Vinny's computer because Vinny's computer
and he walked away, and
was
that
just
was
like falling apart right in front of his eyes, right? It was everything.
Yes.
So they probably infected your computer.
I know.
That's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
I
it.
mean,
I don't think so.
It's an infection.
we've had this thing since.
They told you to wiggle your
2018, I think.
dongle.
What?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
2018.
whoa.
I think.
That's when we bought it.
I think
Where
there's,
did that
there's
come
There's
from?
some
What is the
angel
dongle
investor out
from?
there that's just listening.
Hawaii.
Like those guys need
Oh.
a new computer. Let's get them.
Yeah.
Right?
We could use a new computer. If anyone out there would like to buy the show
Or an
a
old
computer,
one, actually. Take an old one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
a
better
better
than-
old one.
Like if it's newer than 2018, we're good. Right?
Yeah.
I
Could
feel
you
like
help
this
us
works
out?
great most of the time. I'm happy.
70% of the time, it works
works
all
all
of the
the
time.
It does.
Yeah.
Lou, come back.
Okay, well, we're back. We
We're
have
back,
sound
Lou.
now. You can come back.
I'll text.
Well, I'm sure Mark has him on FaceTime.
Oh, look at that. Even Adrian, our blind guy.
No
doesn't
sound.
Doesn't affect. He's hypersensitive to the lack of sound.
You are so far. I looked up. I thought maybe he was here. Hi, Adrian.
No.
Come
The
see us
Terp
again.
Whisperer.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Terp Whisperer. You say.
And Dr. Mark, now that you've totally outed yourself that you were listening to the
Oh,
show
yeah,
when I
jump
was
on the
fucking
show.
talking
Send him a
about
link.
you, can you please call in and talk about how
Did you send him a
fucking
link?
disgusting?
Did you send a link? Did you send a link? Hey, Dave.
I told Lou to come back. We lost the sound.
How about now? How about now? Exactly. Whew. Well, anyway, while we were gone and we
Chat,
weren't,
thanks
and you
for
guys
helping
couldn't
us
hear
produce
us,
the show. You're all getting credit.
we thought we thought you were there. We put out a lot of brilliant.
It's all recorded, so it'll be on the
amazing.
audio version.
Oh yeah, you can go back. Do you think people ever do that?
No.
Like we missed 3 minutes of Adam Dunn
Maybe.
show. We have to go
I
back and hear.
listen.
Actually, you should go back.
Sometimes.
If you missed it, go back. Oh man, it was so good. I can't even remember what we
So
said,
good, guys.
but it was so good.
That's how I often
Yeah,
feel.
we pretty much saved the planet, right? Did we?
I mean, we figured out this whole
We
situation.
we had it all figured out.
We had
Yeah.
we
We
had
had
the
Gaza
solution.
figured out.
Oh, yeah,
we
we-
had Three Eye Atlas.
Or-
We discussed
Oh.
all those things.
The hemp bill was totally. We fixed it.
I already put
And
the
you
link
can
in
fi-
those
you can hear
chats. Someone was
that in the
complaining that
playback.
it wasn't in the chat. I'll put it back in there.
Join us. I
What are
want
you
to
gonna
hear
do?
everybody's
Complaining?
opinion.
Uh-oh.
Someone said put the
Look,
link in the chat
IROC
already.
came.
but
He drove all the way up here to tell us the sound wasn't working. on
that
our
tells
show.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
You
just
made it
drove up
here.
He just drove like an hour to tell
Nice,
us that.
dude.
Like,
Just to
dude,
tell
you
us.
guys are idiots. I can't hear
He,
anything.
tell-
to see
he tells us
you.
that every week.
I know.
What would
I know.
be
He's
the
here
difference?
just- but now he rushed. He rushed.
He rushed you. He's out of breath. You okay? We're good. We can't tell you who it is, but you're okay.
Yes, sir.
The only thing we'll describe, he's wearing a hat. That's all we're gonna say.
You're funny.
I think we already blew him out. Blew him out of the
Oh.
water. He posted anyway. He puts like, "I'm coming up. It's Friday." Burp, burp, burp.
I don't know if his PO is going to be.
No, he
pissed
doesn't
or
say here,
something,
but
or,
it's
you know.
out there. We know. It's on the. It's on. Yeah, they all. If you know, you know. He just puts the. Anyway.
Farm bill, down the tubes, year catching up. You know,
No, he
didn't know
don't
if you
care.
were
He
here.
gives a fuck. He could give a fuck about a
He
farm bill.
doesn't.
But-
What are we smoking next then?
We'll get that right there. The Lambo.
Oh.
Yes. I have been waiting for this. I was going to text you about this.
What? Nothing.
The Lambo.
Steve, shout out to
Easy
Mr.
does
Heron.
it there, joint hogger.
What do you mean joint hogger? I passed it back.
I know.
can't-
That's only
Lasercat.
because I put you on the
Lasercat's got
spot.
it, I think, now.
Really?
I think so. That's where he works.
Everybody
right?
is on that
what-
super booth, y'all.
Oh, God.
Gosh, that is everywhere.
Whoa.
Stop getting off.
Katie.
Get it out of your ass. Get that boof out
Whoa.
of your ass. Whoa.
Get that booth. Do not boof.
You need to either be on microphone or shut up.
No, I can hear him.
I didn't. What did he say? You didn't.
You didn't?
Yeah, you told us. Yeah,
No.
Oh, alpaca
dog.
death?
yeah. It's a fucking neighbor dog.
No, we don't want to.
Dang it.
Yeah,
That was awful.
Nobody wants. Oh, neighbors' dogs. Neighbors' dogs. Sounds like another.
two
one.
of them, the fuckers.
Oh God, you're back on that deal again?
I thought they all got arrested, man.
It's
for
the Hatfield
making-
and McCoys of alpacas out there.
Gosh, that's awful.
And so it doesn't help the audience if we're the only
Alpaca.
ones
This
that
is
can
we're
hear
doing
you.
alpaca news right here. Alpaca news on Adam
Yeah.
Dunn Show. Alpacas, neighbors.
Neighbors, two dogs killed an alpaca, and some heads are gonna roll.
Oh, dude, and then I know,
Yeah.
I know exactly what's
No,
going
this
down.
is devastating. I would be crushed.
He
said
was. He missed the show last week.
Now
of
you
course
said
he-
alpacas.
2?
One, two dogs.
Oh, damn.
Oh, here we go. We got someone here. What do we got?
Hey,
Oh, hey, how's it going
it's
there?
Hello.
the nasal inspection of Dr.
What the fuck?
Hey, man, sorry about the sound, bro. We suck.
Oh,
very
that's okay.
unprofessional
You guys
around here.
pull-
He likes
guys
fish.
pulled it
Don't worry
back.
about it.
I know. We peeled
You
it
guys
back.
pulled it
What
back.
was the deal? What was
We did. We
The
got it
computer
together.
flickered,
Thank
and
you.
I didn't. I just.
Oh,
I don't.
we got
and-
flickered.
And from the beginning, we had
I-
the issue that was weird.
sun,
so,
the sun. What was it? What was it? Coronal. What was that?
A
Ejection.
coronal mass
Coronal
ejection.
mass ejection just hit the Adam Dunn Show. Direct hit on the show. Like,
By the way, before we
time.
get off the topic of astrophysics, you guys should all follow this account called The Angry Astronaut. This guy is fucking amazing. He's just like this little smart nerdy. Oh, I wasn't talking about you, Mark. Hang on a second, okay? Little smart nerdy guy who knows a ton about astrophysics. Just follow it. The Angry Astronaut.
okay, that
Okay,
sounds
send
good.
it to me.
Thank you, Dave, for that incredible
Thanks, Dave.
suggestion.
Thumbs up if you like Dr. Mark Scaldone, who thinks synthesized cannabinoids are the demon scourge of the industry.
He's so happy. Look how happy he's. He's like, go die.
Die!
Yeah, your wish has come true.
I'm not with Big Dummy anymore, right?
Oh, whoa. I got flicked in the nuts for saying that, man. You
Oh,
better watch
really?
You
out.
should have seen it. It was awesome. Newspaper.
a
Was it
term of
newspaper?
endearment,
No, it's like
man.
a
It was-
flyer.
I thought it was a
was
term
like
of
a flyer.
endearment too.
It was like a
Thank
flyer.
you,
It
Mark.
was like
That's exactly.
It was just like a flyer or something. He just didn't even know he was.
It was the perfect hit.
He just. Oh yeah. It was great.
No, but if he loves you and the love is both ways, you could call him Big Dummy.
Yeah. Okay, I get that too. Nobody's.
It's okay. It's so the whole basis of Big Dummy was that he had another kid that he put on to us out in Amsterdam, who was Little Dummy, right? And Little Dummy was a fucking mess. He was like one of these like Oxycontin kids or something, and he just like came in and he was like, "Who is this kid you bringing around? Fucking little." And he, "Oh, that's just Little Dummy." And then of course Little Dummy became Big Dummy because.
I was curious where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he just fit into the role, and it just never ended because it was like he kept reinforcing it all the time. I'd be like, "Yeah, you see, fucking Big Dummy right over here." So he knows.
And for those of you who don't know who's on camera right now, this is Dr. Mark Scaldone. We've known him for decades. He's appeared on the show
Yes.
multiple times.
We popped his cherry on the show. His podcasting cherry was popped on the Adam Dunn Show, and
It was.
now every
yes.
time he goes on any of those other ones, he just has to think back.
Well, most of the
First
other
time
shows,
ever was on the Adam Dunn Show.
I love it.
Well,
No,
and
I
that was
heard
only
him.
made possible by your bitch Pinsky, right?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa!
Oh
That's
my
bitch.
gosh.
Whoa!
Yes, I love this so
Whoa.
much.
Pinsky'sMyBitch.com. I just repaid that. I just paid that one off, which every time that comes in, I'm like, that is getting paid. Because if he sees that pop up, I'll be fucking bumming one day. I'll be like, I got your Pinsky'sMyBitch.com. Go check out Pinsky'sMyBitch.com. Check it out. I have merch that I'm dying to put out, but I just haven't done it because my wife thinks
You're
it's
gonna
too
get
mean.
sued.
Nah,
I think
said,
it's pretty
I said,
mean,
let's
too.
do it, and then I'll give him half, and then we'll sell lots. You know what I mean? Because why not? I'll give him half.
You could probably use it right now.
He'd be loving it. He'd be like, and then everybody keeps. The more they buy, the more he makes. He'd be happy as hell.
You know, I think Adam, after all these years, you're gonna just have to leave that guy alone.
No, I have. I've been really nice. I've been super nice for a long time. But don't fucking push.
You know, he is the first person to ever get a credit in a production of something that aired on television where you needed a SAG card, and his title was cannabis producer. First ever. And his name appeared on a solo card on the credits, which is pretty fucking good. So he's done a lot in the industry, being an incredible ball breaker, and we like to break his balls. But anyway, shout out to Jason Pinsky. So Dr.
Well,
Mark
he introduced
Scaldone.
he introduced me to Adam, right? That was at the Cannabis Cup up at in Santa Rosa. What's the name of that place? Oh, just the county fairgrounds there, right?
Yeah, the county fair. Yeah, exactly.
So that was in 2014, Adam. So that was
Oh, look at that. We're on our
that was 11 years ago.
11 years of.
Yeah, and
Did we
he
get one of
didn't
those
want
things
me
on your thing where it's like 11 years of friendship? And then all our photos
He
come up.
reintroduced us.
Huh?
He
Yeah.
reintroduced us.
The reintroduction.
Yeah,
That's right.
he sure did.
I love it.
Look at
Well, the
this.
funny thing was,
2014, okay.
it was my first cannabis cup, and he didn't want me circulating amongst the general population because he was trying to figure out how he could own
Oh.
everything I did.
Of course.
Oh,
So,
wow,
course.
yeah.
I'd already been friends with Greg for a long time, and I saw that there was this company that was selling ChemDog glass, and I was like, well, ChemDog, I know Greg, man. So I came up to their booth and took photos of the glass and sent it to G. And I'm like, hey, G, do you know these guys? These guys are supposedly repping you. And this was Bon Villain, right?
yeah.
This was Elite Cannabis. So that's
Shout
where I
out to
first
David
met
Bonvillain.
Dave Bon Villain and that whole crew of people.
The Renaissance
And
man
then-
himself, Dave Bonvillain.
Yeah.
He really
He's out there.
is.
He's making guitars
And-
now and killing it right now.
And after I went to the Elite Cannabis booth and I came back and I told Pinsky I did, Pinsky's like, you're not allowed to go anywhere. You have to stay with me. So
Wow.
I was
Oh, wow.
I was on a short leash, right? He didn't want me going to talk to anybody,
Oh,
Really?
see, he's not.
We let you roam. We let you roam around, sniff as many butts as you want. You're good.
Well, we came by your booth and we met you. I don't know if you remember that, but that was the first time you and I had met.
Nice.
And I met Kenny Morrow, and I met everybody that first trip. And actually, I was supposed to go back home to Philadelphia, and instead, I flew back to Denver and hung out with Bon Villain for a couple of days because he just got an Obidose extractor, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just got this extractor. You want to come to my house for a couple of days and help me set it up, and we'll make some oil." So I made some. It was the first time I had ever made oil, and so I made oil with Dave. That was, in I guess March of 2014, and I brought that syringe of oil back to Pennsylvania with me, and ended up giving it to a epileptic patient who ended up being one of the poster children for the medical cannabis movement.
What year was that, Mark?
Wow.
What's that?
What year was that?
14.
That was 2014.
So you were
So it was
basically.
election year in Pennsylvania, and we had a Republican governor who was dead set against medical cannabis, but our Democratic governor won that year, running on, I'm going to put medical cannabis over the goal line. So
Were you Heisenberg
Brilliant.
before Heisenberg? You were. Heisen-
no,
yeah, you were Heisenberg for cannabis before he ever appeared, right? I mean,
Heisenberg is actually a dude. That's guy. In fact, I met him also at that same cannabis cup in 2014.
Really?
Heisenberg was Eric, right, from the Nectar's crew, right?
I was talking about from Breaking Bad. Were you the guy that
No,
totally
okay.
made the extraction better than anyone?
You weren't talking about Eric Heisenberg, the
No.
famous cannabis
No,
extractor.
see, try to give him a movie reference, Adam. I threw him a softball there, and he completely missed it. He went totally nerdist. He went nerdist. Anyway, Dr. Mark, what good comes from this change to hemp policy, and would there been a way to sort of, instead of taking a shotgun and killing this pigeon, where we did just a little extraction, change the wording so that all we had to change was wording to say naturally occurring cannabinoid, right? And sort of criminalize the process so that people would stay away from it, and maybe we could have kept it the way it was, or at least had some money to fight back against alcohol.
Well, Dave, I'm going to repeat something I put in the chat about 5 minutes ago, and that is that, cannabis by definition is a commodity market, and price is going to win all day. And margins are so razor thin that if you could reduce your input costs, it greatly impacts your ability to be profitable. And so let's face it, most of that hemp-derived D9 that's in all those beverages is all from chemical conversion, because CBD is down to $300 a kilo, man. I mean, right? Adam, what was it back in 2014? It was
$85,000.
Yes,
It was
like
something nuts. It was like went from, but it dropped really crazy quickly. It was like
Yeah,
went
really
from 80 to 20, 20 to 6.5,
No
6.5 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 5. It was like, Jesus Christ, this is like
Yeah.
the craziest.
If you could find the person that would ever admit to spending $85,000 on a kilo, I will show you somebody who is not in business anymore.
Well, the thing is, that those people didn't know. Like, of course, you could inflate numbers in your mind. Like, this can make this amount of this, and that price is this. So you could make it in your brain work.
Yeah.
But the reality is, knowing how much along the way gets lost and things that down the road and the conversion rates of stuff and
Oh, you mean reality?
yeah, the reality, the actual reality. Then you're like, okay, but if you caught that front wave, you might maybe cash out.
the college professor in me can't pass up a teaching moment, right? This is a classic example of supply and demand economics, okay? There became a huge supply when people started growing hemp, and they started, well, actually, let's even go further back than that. Hemp, if you talk to Canadians, what is hemp? Hemp is not type 3 cannabis, which is grown to maximize a canopy, kind of like type 1 cannabis, right? High THC, right? Hemp in Canada is single stalk planted right next to each other, growing for the sky.
Sure.
To get the
Adam
long,
Dunn
vast
A
fiber.
million per square fucking acre compared to as much as
Exactly.
you can
Hoodlam hemp.
And,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, Adam. Here's the thing. So what's known is that so with soybeans, protein per acre is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 360 to 380 pounds. With hemp, when you can densely plant like that and you can get full seed cake on the top, the estimate is somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 pounds of soluble protein per acre. So if you're growing for livestock feed, or if you're growing again just to create protein, I mean, now hemp is going to beat soybeans hands down. But soybeans, now you're up against big industrial ag. You're up against Cargill, and all the chemical companies that bought soybean seed companies that then genetically modified those soybeans to be resistant to that company's chemicals, right?
Of course.
And so
Say that again in English.
No, I love it. Yes. Keep going,
so
Dr. Mark.
ultimately, the driver for taking over soybeans is going to be food. It's not going to be fiber. It's not going to be anything else. It's going to be food. We need to feed more people on less arable land. And then what you're going to see is that if we can overtake the soybean thing, which is huge. Again, this is, Archer's Daniel Midland, Cargill. This is big industrial ag, and they have a lot of lobbyists in D.C. And so to overtake soybeans is going to be a real huge thing. But ultimately, when that is overtaken, now you have all this byproduct fiber, and you'll have seeds on a commodity level that will make the prices of protein and oil go down. That's hemp. Hemp is not type 3 cannabis, which is high in CBD and low THC. Okay, so let's start with that. The other thing you have to consider is that it is against the FD&C Act to put CBD, we're not even talking THC here, CBD into food, feed, or cosmetics for interstate commerce is against the law, right? So they never contemplated. Congress was snookered in 2018 on the Farm Bill, not ever even contemplating how to bring CBD products to market.
Right.
And certainly like the folks at GW Pharmaceuticals, now Jazz Pharmaceuticals, I mean, they didn't want competition from CBD tinctures, right? They want an epileptic kid who goes into a doctor's office to be prescribed Epidiolex. Epidiolex is still like a $30 billion market.
Wow.
You believe that?
That's crazy.
It's fucking huge. But the thing is like you said, David, there's been some DEA opinions about synthesis that, they were talking about synthesis of the acetates. So THCO, which is the acetate of THC. And so in, I don't know, this was, I think, one of these letters back to Rod Kite or something like that. The DEA guy said anything synthetic is Schedule 1. So you would think that anytime you take hemp, whatever you're extracting from hemp, apply chemistry to it to change the chemical compounds, that you are creating basically a Schedule 1 substance, right? And the other thing is like this THCA loophole is just totally fucking ridiculous because THCA is 88 or 87.7% THC. So any plant that's high in THCA is also high in THC by definition.
Just has to be
So-
converted.
But that's why here in Colorado, the testing shows
Everything.
assumed
Yeah.
THC levels. It
Well,
does-
what they said down, they didn't say it in the language of the Farm Bill. And the language of the Farm Bill is just restricted to Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol concentration. But if you read down in the Code of Federal Regulations, what it will say is that you have to use a test like gas chromatography, which is going to thermally decarboxylate any THCA and turn it into THC. So a high THCA plant is going to show up as high THC. And
Yeah,
I think
and
because that wasn't in the Farm Bill language, it was down a couple pages down.
Yeah, nobody
People
reads.
didn't fucking read that.
Didn't go that far.
That's right. They just read, oh,
Why won't it
It's
read?
It's like signing up. It's like signing up for a thing. Like whatever, dude. Just fucking click. And you're like, you just gave away your firstborn child, dude. What?
Sign here.
Yeah.
What?
We've updated our terms. Sign here. Click to acknowledge.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Was I would hope that now people might invest money into real hemp just because somebody has to fucking throw down like a couple 100,000 acres to make the shit work, because that's the problem. There's nobody doing that because they all lost their ass on their 100-acre plots and their whatever they tried to do back when they did try to do it. And then people said, you're going to make $1 million per acre. And like
Right.
the numbers were
Yeah.
just so astronomical. And then everyone lost their shit, and bunch of shit ended up in barns all over the fucking
Rot.
place, rotting and not getting sold because there was no market for any of it. And then the stocks were never thought of. Nothing was ever, nothing was
Right.
even like, you have to first put the processing in before you put the plants in, because if you can't nowhere to take them, then there's no future, and that was the
you
problem.
have to have it sold
Like Canada was
before
smart.
you plant it.
Canada was smart, and they've always focused on seeds because they're in a,
Right.
they can't make fiber. There's no
Because
fiber coming
they're
out
a
of
grain country. They're
Yeah.
a country that's okay with growing grain.
Exactly.
And yet grain you have to grow on such a huge scale in order to make a decent amount of money on. But I think the problem, again, like going back to like how this appropriation was snuck in, this was like Mitch McConnell's like 11th hour, fuck you to everybody to sneak that in there. Now, nobody was going to stand in front of that appropriation because everyone wanted the government turned back on,
Everybody,
right?
yeah.
There's like TSA employees
How
that
to
aren't
make us
getting
look like
paid.
assholes, right?
There's
Like-
no air traffic controllers. God knows how these planes are landing. If you think about it, no one was going to get laid down in front of that. So Mitch knew that he could put that in there and it would get signed. And that's it.
Exactly.
Now, the good grace is that we have a year to kind of get this thing straightened out and figured out. So I think what they'll do is they'll just figure out how to extract that from the omnibus and, make its own standalone legislation. I still think that what RFK can do, so the Secretary of Health and Human Services can make an exception to the FD&C and also to the Controlled Substances Act and remove cannabis from that. That would basically result in descheduling.
That's the best.
I mean, that's the most
solution
ideal.
now.
That would be. Imagine if that happens. How cool that would be.
Well,
They'd be like, now
What is RFK's position right now on cannabis? Does anybody know?
60% of the time, it works every time.
It's that good.
Yeah.
Wow. Does anybody know?
I'm
Mark?
not sure.
I think.
No.
I mean, I think he'd be intelligent enough to fucking not be.
I think he's
hard
all
against.
for natural.
Yeah, it would make sense.
He thought that there was a lot of junk science when it came to the pharmaceutical industry, and I think there is a truth that there's a revolving door between the Food and Drug Administration and Big Pharma and Big Ag, and so basically the agency that regulates these industries are populated with people who used to work in those industries, right? And then these people leave the FDA and they go get some big paying job in pharmaceuticals. So again, there's kind of like, and cannabis is just, they just don't want it at all. When the Charlotte's Web people petitioned them to do the dietary supplement, that was an easy out for the FDA because the FDA already has a regulatory pathway, albeit it's a little murky at best, right? Have you seen the commercial for the stuff called Prevagen?
Oh, it's on everywhere.
Yeah, right. Prevagen. Oh, they show some old
What the
guy
fuck is
walking
it?
through the park, and they're like, "Oh, I was forgetting my name, so I take this Prevagen." Has been sued multiple times for making false claims. It's just a bullshit snake oil capsule full of shit that goes into your stomach and doesn't do anything in your brain at all. So I mean, it's like
sounds like all of our elected officials.
Yes, right. So this whole nutritional supplements thing are like, do those things really work? There's no FDA thing. Now there's like this thing called Nervive. And I see all these like snake oil products coming on, just commercials on the evening news and whatnot.
Dr. Mark,
so I mean,
the reason
I
why
think they could easily put, but here's what I think is going to happen. The things they don't know how to regulate: alcohol, tobacco, firearms. It's now going to be alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and cannabis, right? They're going to put it into that.
Look at Dave's all proud of himself because he's been saying.
I said that.
He's
been saying that forever.
Hey, let's
Except
not.
I think he said marijuana.
Right,
though. I think you were lame.
No, I said cannabis. Let's not.
Have you ever done GLP-1 peptides? The drugs.
Let's not forget something right now. That what does Congress and senators make? Like 175,000 and then 250,000 if they were senators. I'm pretty sure, and I give both sides shit when shit's deserved to be given. But Nancy Pelosi is retiring with a net worth of over $250 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was like 380 when they
$250 million.
combined all the things.
Every Republican is the same way too.
Yep.
Even more so. They know about deals happening ahead of time, so they make certain strategic stock buys and real estate purchases and whatever the fuck it is. And it's a shame. So no one, lest no one think that any side would have done anything different when presented with the check that Mitch McConnell was presented with. And for all we know,
especially on his way out, someone's like
the fucking. Wow. I thought he died. As crazy as he is, for all we know, maybe he's like an evil genius where he figured out that if he puts this in right now, it forces the hand of everyone. But it won't be that way.
The slow turtle wins the race, right?
No, it won't. It'll be.
I was just thinking of that
money wins.
Bugs Bunny turtle. I was just thinking of that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
that Bugs Bunny turtle. Yeah, that one.
That's exactly the turtle I was thinking of. I was like, yeah.
That turtle doesn't even know where he's racing.
Well, it wouldn't even be him. Yeah, he might have died. So
exactly.
They held his hand like and that was.
I have a question. I'm actually like at a dinner party.
Nice.
Came back out.
You're like, hey, I'm going to see if they got.
I have a question about what is the language specifically dealing with genetics?
Yeah, Dr. Mark.
Are you asking Dr. Mark?
Oh,
yes.
You're asking.
Yes.
I'm a chemist. I ain't a plant guy. I think though it has to do with.
Yeah, with Mildred. She looks so familiar. Mildred.
He's so nice.
I think it has to do with ultimately how the secondary metabolites are expressed in the plant, and so. Two different growers in two different regions are going to grow the same seed or grow the same, variety, and it's going to come out completely different, right? So you could really, depending on your grow technique, really influence the profile of secondary metabolites. If that's the incriminating thing, right? So if THC level is the real important thing, well, again, there might
it's more
be,
like if this more, because the thing is, there's nothing in a seed. You can test a seed all day long. You're not going to come up with anything, right? So there's nothing there. Like we've tested them. We've got 0% of anything, but it doesn't mean it doesn't. So what I'm worried about is if the language says potential and doesn't say what, because that's the thing.
Which way will it harm the industry the worst? That's how they'll word it.
Well,
just know that
THC content in the plant parallels with trichome density, right? And that there's growers out there who can't grow to save their fucking lives, right? So
what?
people with
not
low,
you, Mark.
With low trichome
I like you.
are going to have low THC, right? So it's just basically a way of tracking trichome content. Oh my God, am I making
That's
enemies?
Great.
Oh no,
No, that's so perfect.
most
Join
of
the club. We have jackets.
You'll get a membership card next week. Mark probably has been uninvited to more podcasts than any other discussion groups. I mean, it's not.
Oh,
funny.
usually he comes and blows the whole. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
kills all the
I
fun.
remember-
Sucks all the fun out of the room. Like, by the way, did I tell you? And you're like,
remember during COVID when I used to have you on when we were doing that, we had that executive meeting every Thursday and everyone was round table, and then I got a call one day and they were like, Dave, you cannot have that guy on again. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, love having you on, but Dr. Mark is not welcome on the show anymore. And it was
really.
Do you remember that one I told you?
Well, yeah, I told
Not
those
our
guys
show,
the
not
truth. I
Of
mean,
course
what
you
the
did.
fuck, dude? I'm a scientist, man. I can't be like, telling untruths. Sorry. People don't like to hear it, but that's not my problem, right?
No, yeah.
So then now that we have people that really give a shit listening, what do we do? We have a year. What do you see happening? What can we do? Because we have to lead by example.
I need to ask a question too, specifically, like this ends up actually involving both sides, the hemp and the cannabis, because a lot of cultivation facilities end up stocking their genetics, their clones, their SNPs from hemp nurseries. And if there's a restriction on the hemp nurseries, that means that the legal cannabis industry is going to have a massive problem of restocking their own facilities or reordering. Because we know, right, like there's just a matter of time before some pest, some mildew, something goes bad, and you got to slash and burn, and you got to call somebody emergency in order to restock the entire room. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, like it's a lot of plants. And they lean heavily on the hemp nurseries in order to restock their shit. So I'm really concerned about that one specifically because it's going to end up, again, like it's going to affect both sides.
I was totally unaware of that.
I think you're confusing hemp, industrial hemp, with type 3 cannabis. What you're talking about.
Well, I was just saying that people are using.
Cannabis, right?
People are using the loophole of having a hemp because the thing is, when they're clones, it's their clone. Hey, they're clones. You can have a fucking. You got a million plants going around a place. They're not testing every fucking thing. So obviously, these guys are, they're not going to put hemp into the thing. That's for sure. Mojave. It was cold where you are. What's going on? You got the hoodlum on. You're like all hoodlumed out.
I just like hemp so much. It's 98 degrees out.
I almost wore my.
Bathe in hemp.
Hey, you would have wiped that sweat off your brow there, buddy.
You're like, all right, take it.
Fucking cold. Yeah.
Did you
Welcome
send
to the
Mo
soapbox. No, you did.
I tagged him.
Okay, well there you go. Well, he worked his way. I thought he sent him a link.
Ooh.
You don't.
I thought he sent me a link, and then I looked. I was like, "That's not a link."
Oh,
That's
but then luckily we posted the link, so you saw that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, you're persistent. Welcome.
Bring back the fucking Quaaludes!
Oh, why do you fucking do that
Good to
every
see you,
fucking
Mo.
show?
Because we got Dr. Mark. He might know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Look at he's got the
a good friend of mine just opened a restaurant in Joshua Tree called Mojave Gold. No, he's an old band member of mine, but when you walk into the restaurant to sign up and put your name on the list, he's got a little chair there, and over the chair it says Quaalude, about like 3 feet across. It's just like as soon as you walk in, you know what you're getting into. It's old school. It's pretty cool.
It's a roar. It's got a big roar up there, big lemon.
No lemon, baby, lemon. 714.
714.
Yeah, roar, right?
Roar. Anyway, what's going on? You guys, hey, Mark. Good to see you, man.
Hey, Mo, what's going on, buddy? How you been?
I'm good, man.
Hey, we got a plant expert in the room now, so ask your genetics question to the genetics
That's
guy.
me anything.
Damn! Wow, way to slap the host in the face. Way to slap Lou in the face. Fuck! Guys, I will give you his number afterwards.
We're intermediate.
No. I'll give you his contact info, his address, and everything you want to reach out to Mark.
No, we're just this is our soapbox episode, so we
want
figured
to hear everybody's opinion.
Everybody's opinion on what's the good, the bad, the ugly, because we know what's going on. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a bunch of ugly.
It's a bunch of ugly. I mean, to me, the big thing is that on the supply side, it's a big issue because all of that outlet, like in a state like California that really relied on getting rid of all their shitty weed and their distillate and everything. And,
poor Cali and all that shitty weed.
No, but it's true because I know I've talked to a number of people like, oh, I have nothing to do with hemp. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. The supply chain is the same. It's about how it gets diverted and where it gets moved. So on the cultivation side, it could be a big issue in terms of glut and price compression and stuff like that. For dispensaries, especially in states that were highly competitive with head shops and Farm Bill, it's a big boon. You know, I mean, it's a big change. But I mean, ultimately, you know, I had this. I was having a lot of discussions about this the past couple of days, and the one thing that I could say is the silver lining is the FDA is weighing in on a list of intoxicating compounds. And then they set, even though the number is really low, 0.4 milligrams of THC per package,
whatever that is
now technically going to be legal for interstate commerce. And it's not just going to be a USDA issue, it's going to be a USDA FDA issue. And so in theory, say it's just THC that we're all trying to champion here. If 0.4 milligrams per package of THC is legal and they say all of these other elements in this bill stand, then you could just, in theory, argue that number needs to be changed in order to allow a market to thrive. So that it's on the books for the first time that cannabis is federally legal, interstate commerce is legal, but it doesn't help anyone in the business today, right? But it is.
Yeah, what's 0.4 milligrams per packet? That whole thing container.
That's ridiculous.
That was like, what
ridiculous.
does that? What does it even mean? Like I was like,
well, it means that someone out there is going to have 100 gummies.
No, the Millennium Falcon did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Well, because they're thinking like cans of drinks. Obviously, is what they're thinking. Because I think that's what kicked them in the ass. They were just like, these drinks are selling like crazy. We gotta stop these drinks.
And the big thing is, like, out of all the products that are available, almost all of them can transition from a gas station or online to a dispensary shelf. But the drinks are another story. The drinks are a whole, like, I know people in like Minnesota who have whole canning lines and like a whole infrastructure around creating these drinks for gas stations, refrigerated beverages, on tap beverages at bars, the whole thing, right? And that doesn't transition well.
And none of those are 0.4 milligrams for anything.
No, none of them are, and they never will be because you couldn't get high. You could even a gummy. How many gummies can you eat at 0.4 milligrams?
Yeah, you'd be dead of diabetes.
956.
Don't try me, man.
But it is right. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It is now legal. Interstate commerce of a THC product is now going to be legal in a ridiculously small amount in a stupid package, and you got to eat 800 of them to get high. So that's my only thing. Other than that, it's the most disruptive thing that's ever happened to cannabis, even before Prohibition, because there was never a $25 billion industry with tens of thousands of jobs that all of a sudden just has to go away. It's like alcohol prohibition, where they're saying, hey, it's okay all the way up until January 1st, and then it's over, and then all you guys lose your jobs. Every single one of you has to figure out a new path forward. That's never happened to cannabis, because back in the day when the Controlled Substance Act was passed, there wasn't a lot of people selling weed, man. I mean, there was a few of us. That's it. It wasn't a big business, but this is big, multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's getting shut down, and that is highly disruptive. It's going to fuck the supply chain for every large-scale producing. I mean, certain companies were completely reliant on backdooring cannabis into Farm Bill.
Well, look at what Wana did. Wana went all in on Wanderous.
That's a terrible argument. Like, by the way, guys, we're backdooring a lot of shit in here, so can we keep this rolling the way it is?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see them going.
Played both sides of the fence.
Because, I mean, the reality is it's the whole loophole mentality that they're going after, which is, everybody who went in from doing CBD went straight into Delta 8 because they had all this equipment, and they were like, we could do this and then convert it to that. And then, so all those kind of people who didn't give a fuck, they're just keep going for the next thing. So those guys, I don't mind any of those guys getting shut down personally. I'm like, good. Fuck off,
What
you know.
happens if in a year the
Whatever
hemp
they-
industry comes back, but licensure is equal to that of the regulated market?
But you guys, sorry to interrupt, Dave, but the one thing that you got to realize that all the sleazy, opportunistic, loophole-loving cannabis companies, the source material for their products.
It's a good
was
name for the
coming-
company. Exactly. It's actually a good
Say
name.
that again. Say that one more time.
Loophole loving,
loophole loving motherfuckers.
Fucking loophole
Suckers.
lubing. Lube the loophole.
Why are you making the
Loophole.
fist thing? Why?
Lube
Why
in the
this?
loophole.
Lube in the loophole.
Whoa,
Loophole.
dude.
No, but
We're a
but
family
source-
show.
Oh yeah, we
the
lost our
source
G rating.
material, the product that they were using in order to put in their packages and make all their products. So that stuff came from cannabis growers, not from hemp fields, not from Kentucky hemp farmers. It came from just everybody because I know lots of people in that space and they sourced their distillate and isolate from wherever they could. So the fact that that all changes means that everybody who is contributing to that supply chain now is out of the game. And that means everybody who grows weed will be impacted potentially by this change in regulation.
You mean medical gummies in Colorado won't be $40 for 1,000 milligrams? They'll actually be what the real price of it is going to need to be.
Well, yeah, but that's a retail price. The wholesale, the guy who sold the active ingredient that's in that package got paid nothing, pennies. So it means he's getting even less pennies. You know what I mean?
Well, there's no
So
more
it's
pennies.
like-
They just minted the last one.
They just minted it.
There's no more pennies. It's over.
No
pennies
pennies.
are done. No more hemp. No more pennies.
Hey, maybe they can give the cannabis
Now
guys
we're
all
gonna
the
do it.
last pennies. That'll be our thing. Give us alms for the poor.
We still have nickels.
Oh.
That's a lot of nickels.
But they're
Oh,
but they're
that's-
made out of nothing. That's the problem. All that shit's garbage now. You know what's funny is it's exactly what happened to Rome too, right? They just kept chipping off the little bits of the coins, and then at a certain point, everybody chipped them so bad that they were like kind of like nobody trusted them anymore. And once you don't trust the money, then it's over. And we're doing the exact same thing, but in a different way.
Oh, that's a whole decentralized currency conversation. another
Yeah,
time,
that's another show.
you know.
But well, you know, there's the other thing too I was saying earlier, Mo, is that like the word hemp got so hijacked and so fucking turned to something it's not, that it's like all the things we were doing with hemp back in the day kind of like died on the vine, in the sense of like you're maybe a few companies left. It's now it's China, so it's really fucked because it's just twice as expensive as it should be because it was already expensive, you know, and then it's sad because America has all this fucking perfect fucking like farmland for producing hemp on scale and produce fiber, but we don't have any infrastructure. Nobody put any money into it. We're super lame, you know what I mean? Or you get these like shysters who are the only ones who do it, shysters, you know? Fucking, what's his name? North Carolina guy with the fucking, there's one guy who's got a decorditator, but it's like, he just turns it on to show people it works, and that's about it. There's no like real production being done with it. There's no, you know, and it's funny because we got rid of the last one. I think it was in like 1945 or something. It was in San Diego, and we like sold that off to China. Like, here, you guys should take that, and it's still running. It's still running to this day. Like the exact same machine is running in China. They're like keeping it going. So from the 40s till now, if you're talking 100 years plus, they're running the same machinery in some of these factories. That's how, you know. We're that far behind now. We're like 100 years behind schedule on that one. You know?
Yeah.
And Cornell's trying to create a decorticator, and the USDA and a lot of groups are trying to create the potential for a future hemp market. But when we went there last year and saw that facility, Rob was just so completely like unimpressed that they hadn't. There's not a product that they're making, and it's not more efficient. And ultimately, to your point about the hemp thing, is like just like in a normalization, we're trying to normalize cannabis and misinforming people and using, you know, weird language in order to get people to think that they're buying a different product. It doesn't push things forward the way we want to. But it did have this huge, I mean, I worked in Minnesota for years, and Minnesota was kind of the hotbed of this all happening. because it was where they had these first per package milligram THC rules that were based off of 0.3%. So they're like, hey, there's a loophole here. And then all of a sudden you had packaged products. And it was even before they had rec flower on the market in Minnesota. You couldn't buy flower even if you had medical, but you could buy these hemp products, right? So it was a massive normalization thing, and it did change people's opinions. And people did pull into the gas stations and buy cannabis. People who wouldn't get a doctor's recommendation card, people who wouldn't go into a dispensary, they were pulling into gas. Last time I was in Florida, I get some gas, and the guy I'm getting my gas, I pay the guy, and he tries to sell me weed and mushrooms at the gas station. I'm like, no, dude, I'm just here for water and gas. And he's like, oh, the mushrooms are great, and the weed's great. And I'm like, whoa.
That's
and
crazy.
to me, I was
wild.
like,
Yeah.
right, but that's cool, man. That's cool that in a really short period of time, this guy he wasn't like nudge, nudge, wink, wink, I've got mushrooms. He's like telling everybody who walks in the store,
He's
he's
obviously on mushrooms at that moment. He's like, these things are great.
No, but to me that was really cool, and I thought like, and I was also in Florida once, and this is the highlight of my farm bill relationship. I was in Florida for a gig, for a client doing a medical thing, right? Regulated cannabis. And on the last day, my plane was late, so I went to the farmer's market in this quaint little town, and I'm looking around, and someone gets on a bullhorn and says, hey, come and get some empanadas and check out the craft jewelry and make sure to stop by the CBD shop. So I walk straight to the CBD shop, and it's a little fucking trailer with a hippie couple in their 60s selling dab hits for $10 a pop.
Nice.
To anybody who walks in. And they had a wall of every known cannabis product that you can imagine, including things that we would never do, like THCP and THCO and all that stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, it's all farm bill. It's all grown in Florida. Don't worry. And I'm like, you could tell it wasn't. But this moment where,
like
and this
peeling
is
the Cali sticker off of it.
Yeah, totally. But this is at a farmer's market across the street from the police station with a guy on the bullhorn in Florida saying, come by and get dab hits from grandma for $10.
What a
I'm like,
time to be
fuck,
alive.
dude, this is crazy.
You should have got the empanadas.
I did. That's exactly what I did. I wasn't there for the weed. The weed, it was shitty weed too. It was crazy because there were bong hits and dab hits for $10 a pop on one of those gravity bong things where you flip it upside down.
Yeah, there we go.
Right?
Shout out to what are they called again? Stundenglas. Yes.
So that was cool, and I'm like, if the farm bill all falls apart, it means that there was millions of people who had an experience of normalization that was way different than you get from getting a doctor's rec or going into a dispensary and talking to the security guard and waiting for 15 minutes and then talking to a bud tender. It was just regular, hey, I'd like to buy a Coca-Cola and a cannabis beverage and $20 of gas, and that was a trip. And also, just remember that back to the whole thing, the supply chain came from us, so to speak. So that to me is the big element here is like there was a national supply chain for a minute. Mm-hmm. It was all yucky. It was crappy weed.
I was gonna say,
yeah, it was bad.
You had
it conveyor belt of bad weed going. Right. Like you got something bad?
I do know people just recently, and multiple friends had approached me that were getting insanely high quality flower online. And one guy, a friend of mine, was buying high quality living soil flower from Oregon from the farm he used to work at in Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn now, and the farm he used to work at now switched over to Farm Bill, and they're selling online the same weed. The whole thing is like everyone got their stuff tested at first. So I've got a cultivar that's 0.3, and then they realize no one's getting busted for it, and you can claim that it got hot in transport. So then in Cali and places like Oregon, they just started selling everything they grew. Didn't matter if it was 0.87 THC. It didn't matter at all. It could be 1.2. Because the loophole was not being tested.
Well,
Yeah,
then you just
a lot of people ended up switching over specifically because it's just entirely too expensive to stay alive in the legal side, so they just end up actually switching over. I had at least like last week, I had 3 phone calls specifically switching over from cannabis to THCA, and it's just
they were like
because the
a week.
overhead
They
is
were
just
like
better.
great week to switch over. It's a great week. Yeah, we just switched everything over.
The worst.
Yeah,
I picked a good week to stop sniffing glue.
exactly. That's what I was thinking of too. Yeah.
No, it's weird.
So
It's
I mean,
weird.
but what you just described, Mo, is the reason why we'll call them the regulated market wanted this to go through. They loved it. They didn't care. They and they don't understand that there's a part of their business that actually needed this. So they were what we would say in sales, they are not in alignment. One hand did not know what the other hand was doing, and nobody thought this through. Nobody had a logic session, because logic really doesn't apply to our industry much anymore on either side.
Doesn't apply to our government either.
Yeah.
Well, that's a given. That
Science is not a thing, man. Math isn't even a thing, right? It's too sciencey.
No. Math is a thing for them if it's talking about their portfolios. Then they're very interested in math.
Don't you think this is just going to feed the trap market? Now this basically puts hemp into the trap market, right?
Well, wait. What did Lou say? Yeah. It's just more jobs for every arrest they make. So we're back to the old days where we got to live in fear.
So what army is going to enforce this, right? So they want to enforce this 365 days. What army of people?
I didn't feel good.
Lou, turn your mic off for a second.
What the fuck is that?
That was killer.
That was New York.
Sorry, I insulted them.
So how are they actually going to enforce this? Are they going to use DEA, or are they going to use state resources, or are like states going to be able to?
Mark,
DEA, because the FDA and the DEA are together.
Yeah, and I don't think we should really be saying, well, yes, fuck the law, and they won't have any resources. Someone's going to get arrested. Someone's life is going to change horribly because of stupid politics. So I don't think we should argue it that way.
Who pays for that? Who pays for that enforcement? Where does that money come from?
You're telling me they won't appropriate it?
I'm telling you that they don't have fucking money.
Yeah.
They like it in their pockets and in their bank book too much to spend it on enforcing stupid, archaic laws.
California's had a ban on all THC in head shops and gas stations for over a year, and it's not enforced at all.
Have you guys been to New York City lately? Have you been to New York City like within the last couple of years?
There all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So I was in New York City, of course, to see my favorite band, Fish, right?
Of course.
The greatest rock band in the world.
All right.
Okay. So
don't get Dave going.
So I noticed that down on the corner. So I was staying over in Hudson Yard, which is like 38th and 10th Avenue, right? And down on the corner there was a weed store, and right next to the weed store there was a smoke shop. And I went into the smoke shop first because it was much bigger. And what I noticed is that they had nicotine, kratom, Delta 8, Delta 10, everything but really good weed. But behind the counter, he had a couple really big 5-gallon, glass jars of weed. And I saw that behind the counter, they had a New York City business license. And I walked up to the guy and I was like, I grew up in New Jersey across the river, and we used to buy weed on this street corner from a Rastafarian guy. And I was just lamenting that back in the 70s, we would buy this little manila envelope that was full of mostly seeds and stems. It was brown weed, right? Anybody who grew up in the New York area will remember this, right? So you could easily buy like an 8-ball of cocaine, no problem. But the only weed they had was this Mexican brown weed in these small little envelopes. And now I'm looking at these beautiful jars of emerald nice nugget behind this counter. And I asked the guy, I'm like, wow, man, that looks like really good weed. I said, do you have a COA for that weed? And he looked at me, he's like, COA, bro? Is that a new cannabinoid?
Yes. Yes.
I said no. COA stands for Certificate of Analysis, and it would tell you what the THC potency on that weed was and what grow from the medical license
He loved
thing in New
having you
York.
come in there.
And he stopped me.
Any
in
heavy metals,
mid-sentence
any
and said-
molds, any toxins?
He stopped me in mid-sentence and said, "Yo, bro, we don't need any of that. Our weed all comes from Cali, and it's really good."
And then you flashed your badge. You're like, okay,
Well,
buddy.
no, then I was just kind of like in disbelief, because next to this smoke shop there was an actual weed store where you could actually buy weed and everything. And so then I started talking to him. I was like, I think, all the weed that is sold in New York is supposed to be grown in New York, and tried to explain. And he's like, bro, you don't understand. He goes, you see these 4 blocks? And he like kind of pointed to between 10th and 11th Avenue and like 38th and 36th Street. He goes, all of these businesses are Dominican. So, and we all live in the Bronx. I guess they live in the Bronx, but they come down and they work in Manhattan, right? And he goes, as long as we pay the neighborhood tax, we're good. The neighborhood tax? What the fuck? This is the Cosa Nostra. You're basically paying off for protection.
New York, baby. New York.
Yeah, exactly. So my question is how does this hemp regulation snuff that out? Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, is talking about, wanting to really go through New York. And, if you've been to New York City, if you went like 20 years ago, it would smell like urine and pretzels. That's what New York City smells like. Now
Or urine
it
pretzels,
smells like
yeah.
weed
Combos
from
of it.
one corner of Manhattan to the other. And everyone's smoking weed, even more so than Los Angeles, dude. I'm telling you. Everyone's smoking weed in New York. Everybody.
Does it just overpower the piss smell, or is there no more
stores
piss?
on every block? And so you can go into the store where you pick up a copy of the New York Times, you get a ham, egg, and cheese on a hard roll, you get a cup of coffee, and you can get a bag of weed there too. So, what the fuck? I don't know how they stop that. I don't think they can.
They're not going to stop it.
There's even dudes, Mo, check this out. There's guys who basically set up in Washington Square Park with tables and just bags of weed. And there's nobody to enforce anything. You can just go there
all day, every day. All day, every day.
Man. I don't know how they stuff that out.
And it's hard. You're not going to. It's hard. There's a lot of there. You don't have a lot of people are sympathetic.
Now that what they like 4,000 cops just retired or sort of put their papers in, so that's going to make it that much more.
But and the reality is, like,
no, they didn't retire. They stopped working because they think that they're going to end up getting charged for being assholes.
So they all went to ICE anyway. They all got jobs at ICE. Got $50,000 fucking signing bonus. Be like, we can just go there. Arrest the same people.
There's lots of payola happening all over the place, man, and that's just the price of doing business, I guess. They'll close down 3 shops and then 5 more will open up, I mean, it's just like, whack-a-mole.
It's weird. We'll see how the MSOs all respond. That, to me, that's the big thing, because it's really, this is a point of sale retailer's issue.
I would say that they would be responsible, though. Don't you think they're the ones who fucking lobbied for this shit? They
did, exactly. But in certain states where
but they didn't want this. They didn't want this restriction. They remember that they actually most of them end up being the big cannabis corporations are now headquarters in Kentucky because of THCA. So this is not what they wanted. They didn't want this much restriction. They wanted to see if they can end up just cornering it and controlling it, but not this bad. Not like they can't do business this way.
It also screws up their whole their what was it, Curaleaf, that was going off of or saying that, hey, you know what, it looks like we've been paying too much taxes because we're actually, our 280E doesn't apply to THCA because it's Farm Bill. Right. Yeah, there's a backup. But what I mean by how the MSOs respond to this is that now there's a whole new group of people that are going to be looking for cannabis products, and they're going to either it could go back to the illicit market, but I'd argue that a good portion of that is going to end up actually knocking right on the door of dispensaries, saying, hey, we need no more dispensaries in our neighborhood now. Because here's a reason why we need more dispensaries. You could lobby for that as well, to say there's a bunch of legitimate customers, mom and pop, that just want to buy legitimate cannabis products, and we're the only guys in the state who can do it. So let's have a massive push for expansion. Florida has hardly any dispensaries, and there's 10,000 head shops. California has thousands and thousands of head shops that are still selling cannabis illegally. All over the country, there's and the sad part is they're all still selling OH7 or whatever, all these weird like kratom extract, creepy gas station heroin products that are really truly dangerous but are legitimate and allowed to be on the shelf. But to me, that whole retail side is the first like opportunity for cannabis. Is like, oh wow, now we can reclaim a part of the market that we lost.
So guys, just introduced, this is Brett from Heart and Soil Project. So he is an actual hemp. Somebody's going to be really affected by this, I suppose, if this all changes. So, and I invited you on the show long before we knew about this fucking provision in the big stupid fucking bill. So,
the cartel
welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Brett.
Good to see you guys.
Is that mic on? Check his mic.
Check.
Something's up with this mic.
Vinny, something up with the mic. Crinkle, crinkle. Wait, check. Oh no, crinkle, crinkle.
Talk. Huh?
It's just crinkling.
Just don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
There we go.
Yeah,
All right,
sounds
now
great.
it's working.
Now it's fine.
Yeah, great to see you guys. Been a long
Good to see you.
time.
Hello. How are you?
You go blind.
That's right. So yeah, like we said, we didn't plan having you on for this particular subject matter, but everything started in the last 48 hours. Our whole cannabis world has been turned upside down. Not really, but
Yeah,
the
I
hemp
mean,
side more than anything.
You've been through it, right?
Oh, well, none of us care. All the people
No,
who are
that's
like old school are like,
kinda-
whatever, you know what I mean? But anybody who
No,
like,
we expected something like this because the logical solution, they're going to try to quash it, and this is what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew it was always about control and, wiping out the home grow. And, that's always been my main mission, is empowering the home grower and giving them as many options as possible. And nothing's changing here.
Yeah.
It'll be a little tougher to sell things, but I mean, we've been through all that. It's hemp seed world again. I mean, it's a bird seed world again. It's free T-shirt, get whatever for free.
Yeah.
I mean, buy a T-shirt, get whatever for free.
Well, I
It's
mean,
just a
look
little
who
bit
they
of-
had push this through. I agree with you guys. Look, he's fucking horrible. I doubt he read it. I doubt he knew what was going on. He is not competent anymore. This was his staff applying his name to something and promising his family a ton of money somehow in the future, right? Whatever he got paid by the alcohol lobby to push this through, but so it's through. We don't know what will happen, but what do we do? Where is the lead by example? Everyone said what's going to go wrong, but what can we do? How can we as an industry separate ourselves from all synthesized cannabinoids? Because just like you said, you walked into that shop in New York, Mark, and you saw that big thing of weed. I didn't find anything wrong with that up while you're telling that story until you started talking about all the derivatives in the back. And then that's where it gets cattywampus. And so what do we do? Because there are real companies, and you didn't like me using Wana as an example, but they're really responsible for the gummy market in the United States. They really do good work. It's a quality tested product that works all the time. They went all in, not all in, but they really did invest in a sister company, Wanderous, that shipped to every non-regulated state. So does that shut down? Do they keep going? Do they care? Did they understand what you were talking about, Mo, with the supply chain? Because I did not know that. When you were speaking, talking about how when somebody has a problem, they actually look to the hemp industry to feed the regulated industry. Here in Colorado, I don't think that can really happen. They're so tight on seed to sale. So when you say that, are you talking about California and New York, or what markets?
Well, for instance, like in California, people who make distillate or just, they source trim from wherever they can get it. Let's just be honest, right? A lot of it comes from the illicit market, but a lot of it comes from the regulated market. Some of it's backdoored out of the regulated market, right? So you make a distillate product, right?
There's not enough good hemp material to go around for the amount of CBD products that are out there. It's
I
impossible.
think Brett could argue that.
I mean, it's been a long time, honestly. We were working with a supplier for a long time, and then that supplier just recently just poof.
Really?
Well, the main thing, the point I was going to make is that to the hemp industry, so the people that I know that are in that space who make products, they are very specific about, we work with an ingredient, and that ingredient is THCA isolate, right? And so when they receive that ingredient, it is a legal ingredient in their process, right? So they wash their hands of, how did it get there, right? It doesn't start as a bunch of THCA isolate on a hemp plant. It starts as California, Oklahoma, Colorado, anywhere that has a surplus of weed that can't be sold or trim or whatever, that went into distillate, then gets turned into isolate, then gets turned into products, right? But the point is, all those Minnesota gas station products that are available, even Cheech and Chong stuff and everybody, Wanda's stuff, it all starts from that ingredient. And once it's an ingredient and that's been cleaned by a manufacturer with a COA, then all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, who's got THCA isolate that I can use to put into my product, right? But it doesn't start from a Kentucky hemp field like Mitch McConnell thought. No, it starts from places that have a surplus of product, where if you can buy a pound of trim in California for under $10 of 15% THCA trim, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. That you can't compete with that off of a CBD, off of a hemp plant in the field.
For sure.
So that's what fed the market. And then when you have a massive glut in states like California of even quality flower from last year or even this year, you have a huge surplus of raw material ingredients.
Yeah, we had guys from Oklahoma like 4 years ago that were doing 2,000 pounds at $20 a pound, and they would drop it off in super sacks at your place and give you a 60-day fucking payment deal. So you're like, 60 days to process that, sell it, go pay them, get another 2,000 pounds dropped off, and you're like at $20 a pound, and it was just like crazy because it was just like they were just growing way too much weed. So in all,
wow, so those super sacks are like 350 pounds, is that right?
Yeah, so they just drop off like 8 super sacks and be like, go to town,
8 super sacks,
go to town, guys, and we'll be back in a month to get paid. And you're like, all right,
8 super sacks and a Big Mac. Yeah.
No, Big Mac not included.
Yeah, the price of the pound is just plummeted. I remember, back when we were, messing around with, Area 420, and I was, talking to people about, the price of the pound, price of trim. It was just like, how is anybody surviving? And in the whole market is, based on a lot of those products, that are coming out of, fields just like that. So
Mark said it earlier that once you factor in the regulated licensing and the regulation fees and everything, you're so far underwater
100%.
that the logical delivery of product to the customer should have been through the Farm Bill. But I guess I understand why.
But Dave, it's key to understand that the Farm Bill's regulation over the plant ends at harvest. So once you have a 30-day pre-harvest certificate, right, Mo, that says that stuff is below 0.3%, what happens to that CBD in commerce should be in the bailiwick of the Food and Drug Administration, not the USDA. So the USDA just regulates. So if you want to grow corn, right, you're going to be regulated by the USDA because you're farming corn. But if you want to have a factory that makes cans of creamed corn or, pickled corn or something like that, now you're going to be regulated by the FDA, probably by your local and state health departments, who will come and inspect your corn can facility, make sure it's up to speed and all that. But you see, that's where there's no regulation. After you call that stuff hemp, after you have a COA for that stuff saying it's hemp, there's nothing that regulates what happens to that en route to commerce. And also, just think about this for a second, just with CBD isolate. So Mo, what's a good ratio? It's like usually like 20-1, maybe 25-1, for a good type 3. So when you start pulling isolate out of that distillate, you create the mother liquor, and the amount of THC keeps going up, right? Because what you're doing is you just keep, when you pull a 20-1, that might drop to like 10-1, then it might go to 8-1. You might eventually get to 5-1. Well, there are products out there right now that basically take 5-1 mother liquor, so it's 5 CBD to 1 THC, and they're putting it in gummies and shit like that. But if you look at all of the floral hemp that was grown last year, and I did this calculation, I have it at work, I don't have it with me, something like, I don't know, some ungodly number of acres. If you assume that they get 1,000 pounds per acre, which is probably, a pretty decent size harvest from an acre, 1,000 pounds of dried biomass, 0.3% of that turns out to be something like 82,000 pounds of THC. Yeah. Multiply that
hundreds
by
of billions of milligrams,
and that'll tell you how many 1 gram vape pens that'll make. I mean, it's a lot of THC. So even 0.3% THC turns out to be a lot of THC. Now, you'd mentioned Wana before. I know Mike Hennessy from Wana. He's their chief science guy. And what he pledged to me is that in their hemp-derived business, that the only THC that they're putting into their gummies, this guy from Wana, is not from chemical conversion. They're not doing chemical conversion specifically because they want to stay away from that. And they want to say that all of their THC in their hemp side is all naturally derived. Okay. So I guess some companies can play that. I think when Mojave was talking about the MSOs, first of all, have you looked at the balance sheet of some of these MSOs? Have you looked at their financial performance? It's fucking terrible. Except for one of them, I think they're all underwater in terms of profitability.
Yeah,
and what do we know about growing and selling weed? If you can't be profitable at growing and selling weed, usually you're out of business, right? Yeah. I think these MSOs, Mojave, were making the play to push towards Schedule 3, because I think if Schedule 3 happens, remember that a Schedule 3 substance has to be produced at an FDA licensed facility. And I think what they would somehow figure out is the MSOs would be acquisition targets for Big Pharma to come in with their GLP and their whatever quality controls. And all of a sudden they would just take over these MSOs so it's okay to run at a loss. Right? They could basically
the classic move.
Yeah, for a little while, and then
get rid of everybody.
Sell, and then get rid of everybody and restaff and try to replicate what somebody did.
It's like Canopy and all those companies when they were just like, once they would just shut down greenhouses and let them all die and just be like, fuck it, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? We're already hurting. So it was just, they don't care. Like they have no problem.
This is going to be an ongoing discussion for the rest of the year. We're going to do Patreon in a little bit. You guys are welcome to come back and share your thoughts and come back in. And thank you for yielding,
can't
Mike.
wait to come back. He's like, I'm out.
All right.
You two are my favorite guests. This is spectacular.
No, we love it. Well, because we know how to talk to him. Once he starts talking, you don't interrupt. Okay?
let him
right?
go.
Like a Jewish grandmother.
Yeah, just let him go. Yeah, that's what you are. So, Mo,
Take
thank
care,
you
my
for
friends.
coming. Look, we watched Mo from the time he sat down till now. The sun went down.
Take care, Mo.
Yeah.
Mo, let's catch up
So
sometime,
good to
buddy.
see you all.
Brett,
Thanks
stick
for coming
around.
to hang out. We appreciate you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you guys. Thanks for the info.
Good to see y'all.
Peace, brother.
Whoa.
Yay.
Fade out.
Mo,
That was way cool.
It's like a
I'm
Deepster.
letting that happen to us.
I love it.
That's
Let
DMT
that
trip right
happen.
there.
Okay, good. That's not just me.
Whoa. That was way cool. Anyways.
You're running around. Oh, bagels for. Oh, look at him! How happy he got.
They're so good.
Oh.
I'm not.
She's been gnawing on
I've
this
been
thing. I
wanting
thought
to
the
eat this
entire-
bagel the whole time.
Go ahead. We'll do the ads. You don't worry.
She's doing it.
All right.
You're staying now for Patreon,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah, I'm hanging.
Okay.
All right, shout out to
He's
Soul.
late to the party, so it's
I'm late
fine.
to the party, and
Cafe.
I've been pulling fence all day and doing farm shit.
Oh yeah,
but I
did you get a cut?
did I? I don't know. Probably.
You got to
somewhere.
get cut for pulling
I mean,
fences. That's
yeah.
like part of the deal.
I was
Sohi Cafe and Viper Pit Barbecue and Taqueria.
If you want to talk about a podcast, then come talk to Vinny. We can get you all set
don't
up.
talk to Dave because he doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, we're booked up for 2 days a week so far, and we can. He'll work you out a package to get your podcast recorded here at Sohi Cafe.
Sorry, it was on autopilot.
4300 West Alameda.
4300 West Alameda.
Give Vinny a call. Let's see here. Hold on. Sorry. All right. SeedsHereNow.com. 70 plus elite breeders, unmatched genetics, and number one cannabis seed bank. November deals at Seeds Here Now. Breeder of the month. Look at that. Sage Master Select Seeds, free seeds, and
You know
free
who it is?
shipping.
That's why he started there.
It's actually, it
This
looks
is
like
planned.
Who's that
Heart
guy?
and Soil. Actually, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody stole his logo.
Weird.
Damn.
Flavor of the month is Kush. Let's see here. Exotic Genetics BOGO. Buy any pack from Exotic Genetics. Get an exotic bonus pack.
Bogarino.
Plus a freebie 3-pack from Pure XX. Pacific Northwest Root Sale. Breeder of the Month. Sage Master Select. 35% off. Get a big discount on these legendary genetics. I don't know if you can get the done deal with it, but try it.
You can try.
Try.
Flavor of the Month. Kush strains. 20% off. Earthy, funky, and absolutely irresistible. I want clones.com. Check it all out. YoTip.com.
Go to yotip.com. Tell me you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. You'll get 10% off your order. It is a must-have product when you're sharing a joint with someone. It makes any joint hit better, and it keeps you safe in that process. I've been sick, so yotip.com.
I'm pretty sure Van Zeppelin's going to do a hippie little
When
track
you give a
at some
cough.
point, 'cause
Oh, yeah.
That's only because I spoke too
They were
much.
very
You were
into
like,
that.
I like that. I was like, oh, that's it. That's a track right there.
That's a track.
Because you can definitely riff on that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you can.
Another thing I like to riff on is Ozo Coffee.
OzoCoffee.com. You enter Done Deal 2025 at checkout. You get 20% off your order shipped to you. You can't use it at their stores, even though that would be fantastic on a latte. But you got to try this stuff. Single strain from farms all across the globe.
Holiday
shipped
blend.
to Boulder Green, roasted here. So you go to OzoCoffee.com. Done Deal 2025 at checkout.
Build a soil.
855-877-SOIL. You can get the King of the Wooks ferments. You can get a question answered on anything you are growing, from mushrooms to vegetables to cannabis. 855-877-SOIL. Or you can go to their website and enter Done Deal, and that's all you need to do.
Oh, look at that. We got a new Patreon member.
Kaya Cannabis. I love these guys. Okay, they gave
Shout out
us
to
some vape
Rob.
pens today. Their flower is
Our latest
fantastic.
Patreon.
So, shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob
Join
for
us on-
getting a Patreon.
But you go to Kaya Cannabis. Tell them you heard about it on the show. They're on Colfax in Lakewood, and I always get this one wrong.
Hold on, I'm looking.
On Jewel as well.
All right.
Kaya Cannabis. They're formerly Southwest Alternative Care.
Okay.
Wonderful.
KayaCannabis.com. Dabex.com.
I love these guys. So right now they're doing a special on the MK1 package. Right now comes with a rig and everything. So if you enter Done Deal, you're going to get 20% off. But their deal on that MK package might be a little better. I think they're offering 30% off.
And it actually comes with the Turpogs MK1 Dabex rocket. So
The Dabex Go is my favorite electronic dab rig. Easy to clean, loaded up, multiple dabs. First one tastes like the last one. They taste amazing. And I'll go back to the cleaning part. It's so amazing. But you know what the most underrated feature is? This carb. This carb is
Spectacular.
fantastic.
yeah, having a carb is, and also the carrying case that comes with it is also worth
That's
it
my
as well.
favorite.
You go to dabex.com. You enter Done Deal at checkout. You get 20% off your order.
I hear it fits in your cup holder.
Who are these guys? Heart and Soil Project, quality CBD products, cultivation services. This is Brett from Heart and Soil. Tell them about your products.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so we do a lot of genetics, obviously. That's a lot of what we do. These CBD products and hemp products were sourced from a good friend of mine I went to high school with. He actually grew the product out in the San Luis Valley. pure CBD isolate in the pure CBD. We have pure CBD, and we have full spectrum. The full spectrum was grown with a cherry wine variety that tested really well. It was a multiple, full spectrum, 4 different cannabinoids. So we really, get a lot of good feedback on that full spectrum. But we also have hundreds, like over 200 genetics, kind of in the back door. If you look in all other products, or if you go to HeartandSoilProject.com/shop, that'll take you a little bit closer to where you want to go. It's a little bit of a navigation, because you're not seeing any.
Oh, look
cannabis.
At that, Zeta Sage right on top.
You're not
Boom.
seeing, you're not seeing any cannabis pictures.
So,
you're not seeing the word cannabis. That's all by design. You see,
it's brilliant.
Afghan Hindu Kush, but we did. I've worked for other companies, and there's been a lot of challenges with payment processors, and you're able to use your credit card safely on the website. Debit card.
That's huge.
If you wanted to, message me or email me, we can do Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, any of those other options as well. But the website is great for checking out the genetics, but it's limited on the depth of information about the genetics in terms of flowering times and things like that, all by design. So if you have any questions,
contact direct.
Feel free to message me. B Anderson at HeartandSoilProject.com is my email, or you can try to keep in touch with me on Instagram. You never know how that's going to go. But yeah.
Well, if you want to write out an AI script, Mark will read it every week.
He
loves doing that.
I can't. I just can't.
It's got to be AI.
I just can't.
Can't be human written, or else
I just
you
can't.
won't do it.
I don't.
I can only read AI.
He doesn't do
robots only for Mark.
I get the AI, but I just can't be a part of it.
Heart and Soil Project.
I'm all about it when it comes to imagery, but not for writing.
It's like
I can't.
Well, you got writing. I heard a song the other day that was like, I wanted to like it, but then it was like all AI.
So you got to check out 14erboulder.com. 14er in Boulder.
14er is fantastic.
They are fantastic.
Fantastic.
Again, they've supported us now almost 7 years. I don't know if the Dunn deal is working right now, but you can certainly go in and tell them you heard about it on the show. 14erboulder.com.
Like,
no, they don't. They're changing their entire process right now, and they're figuring things out. They've supported us. We'll support them.
14erboulder.com. Grove Bags.
Well, you can't get in touch with Lance right now because he's in Prague. So you go to grovebags.com.
Be like Dave and wake him up from his just went to bed and just
tell him you heard about it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Nick Warren in Prague, dude. Yeah. Global Underground.
Terp block is the difference. So I tell you, they're like plastic.
Have you experienced Grove Bags yet?
Shane from
Get on
taking tops. He swears by Grove Bags.
Oh no, they're the
I
shit.
use jars. I just don't. I just can't get away from it.
Appreciate it, Jared.
Well, the thing is,
I use the dark jars, and that's just me.
Right.
Well,
as long as it's for personal, but it's just like what you do realize is that when you give somebody weed and you give it to them in a jar, a lot of times they don't treat it the same way you do. So like they might get to it in time, whereas I've given Dave. And he's like just whatevered it into the, and then like 6 months later goes, dude, it was still good. So
no,
from
100%.
From a Colorado preservation,
I know people
situation.
who swear by it,
and
especially in like larger production. I've seen the big giant bags,
yeah,
full,
and then
they do really well just sitting on the shelf somewhere.
The bin liners they make are good, so that's the 27-gallon sort of bin liner deal. And then they fit perfect because it's like normally when you put a top on one of those, it's still got a little bit of airspace.
Yeah.
When you have that liner over it, it just gives a little thook and it goes on.
Yeah, in terms of my understanding, Grove Bags are like the industry standard, and I don't really hear anybody else use it.
They're becoming.
Else.
They are.
Well, soon there'll be a Heart and Soil Grove Bag coming your way soon.
Exactly.
Grovebags.com.
You'll have to order some.
Terpwipes.com/DoneDeal.
This product is amazing.
Speaking of industry standards,
Terpwipes.com/DoneDeal. They are fantastic.
Like graveyard
He's
around
bullying us into about the
like you guys can't eat like you're all eating the insides of them and
no, I just
like
want to make
because I'm
noise
wanting to
with
be
the
quiet.
outside. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Terpwipes.com/DoneDeal. You gotta get this product.
Get the Dunn deal.
Can you hear me?
Numbnutsco.com. CBD nut butters infused delivered to your door. Maybe
20% off.
Oh yeah, eat some of that right now. Go ahead. Katie.
I almost brought.
Katie's
going
gonna
to
be dipping
today.
JeromeBaker.com.
Love this guy.
Get a tube.
Get a tube. Done deal.
He's a shit.
Holoshealth.org.
Say hi.
Colorado MMJ cards and nationwide psilocybin microdose therapy. Get
Nationwide cards?
the Dunn deal.
Nationwide. Wow.
Nationwide psilocybin.
Nationwide.
Conbud.com. If you're in New York, give these guys a chance. Go check them out. Conbud.com.
Oh, on a Saturday. Make sure it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
And find Danny Danko because he's working the freaking counter.
He was
like
in
a little.
chat.
Yankee Stadium.
He's in the chat?
He was earlier.
HeartandSoil.com.
See, I
You
don't
got to
wanna-
buy a greenhouse. We'll get 5%.
Somebody buy a green. Hey,
You'll get 5%
there
off.
you go. We know. Look at who. After you get your grove bags,
You
go
get
get
5%
go-
off.
Man.
Go grab a
Yeah, I'm
greenhouse.
taking donations
Go grab a greenhouse.
for the greenhouse. Yes.
Make sure you get rolling
HeartandTechDirect.com.
benches.
The best greenhouses in the industry. We say this every week because it is true. We interviewed a guy from North Dakota during a storm. It got to minus 70 degrees, and it never changed from 72 degrees inside his greenhouse. 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds for 3 days. And you will get a pack of 10 trim brushes, Adam Dunn approved.
I know they're good. You ever use those?
I love them.
The brushes?
I haven't. I've seen them though. They're fantastic.
They are really like.
I've seen them in
it took
use,
me-
so they're like
It took
so
me a
fast.
while to like kind of like I was like, come on now. And then I used it and I was like, dude, this thing's pretty good because it's like you don't go like that. You kind of use
It's
it
the
sideways.
technique.
It's sideways action.
It's kind of
And you-
like the other one.
Yeah,
but,
and then
like
all
it's all about
trimmers,
technique.
everything
right?
is about technique.
Everything's
Doesn't
about-
matter-
yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what trimmer you're using. It
Yeah.
can be it could be a little heavy-handed. You
Yep.
could be not using it enough. But this thing is really good because it's kind of like because here in Colorado, that your weed will get to that point where it's easy to do.
That's
that.
where you
With
want
your
it.
But if
fingers
you're
in-
like in
That's
New
where
England,
you want
I don't
it,
know, like New England,
my
it would be
opinion.
so good. It would
Right.
probably be all
or
mushy.
Texas or Florida.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
like
It'd be
Yeah,
like
no,
rubbing up
you're
against-
not
it's like,
using that.
What's
Our
going on?
real-world experience is here in Colorado, and it works.
It works
works.
spectacular. I love it.
Especially when you have those really big like
Weed-
donkey dick.
yeah,
buds
weed
that are
dries
just
in
sticking, you're like-
Colorado really well. Yeah, I love it. It's
So
fantastic.
Patreon is up next. If you're not a member, you should become a
Come
member.
join
What about
and
us?
hang
Don't
out with
forget
us.
about
And
us.
get a
Yeah, join our cult.
a
for
cold
sure.
jacket.
Look, it says 20% off everything. That means it's a done deal time. It's done deals magically.
Think about it. You get
deals.
a pack of seeds for what is that? $50.
$60. Buy a
No,
thing.
because
Put
you
it.
get 20% off.
You get. Well, I don't know. I saw something. It says 20% off. I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
There are
Here it
only
is.
3 days left. 20% off.
Everything. Boom.
Redeem.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Now.
it. Do it. So it's 20% off that, and you get a free pack of seeds if you get the cold jacket.
Yeah, so you got
Get the cold jacket. Put on your jacket. Take a photo.
If you're here right now, you're already in the cult.
Uh,
That's crazy. You don't
Yeah,
have
because
your
you waited
jacket
this long.
yet.
Yeah, nobody
really-
would.
yeah.
Nobody would go to the end of this
To
part.
really get in the cult, go to Patreon. Patreon.com/Adam
Mm-hmm.
Dunn Show.
True cult.
Dive in.
Yeah. This
And
week,
that's
we
where
have-
we're going.
There you
This
go.
week we have in studio guests
Come
and
and
possible
individual thinking.
James Bean, man on the scene.
But
usually
sometimes
joins
an
us.
idea comes
Oh,
along
yes.
that's just a little
Throw some AI at us.
Uh-huh.
and
Gets
before
everything
you know
crazy.
it,
That's
whoops,
nice.
you're in a cult.
Where are my eggs?
There we go. Peace out, guys. See you next week.
You ready
Have
to
a
rock?
good one.
Or in Patreon.
All right, here we go. Later.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The Sohi Studios.
Some call it dance bread, and some people call it